and gents, welcome to the BBC Spews. It's the 23rd of February. Cheers. I've just got off my rowing machine, so I'm rehydrating. One moment. Well, not just got off, about 10 minutes ago. I obviously got a shower. I think I'm some sort of fucking swamp creature. Only squatties do fizz and then don't get a shower afterwards. So I'm still a bit damp looking. Right. How's everyone doing? Bootaholic. I think I like that more than bootcateers. That's good. Davy boy. My codhead friend Davy, who lives in Saltburn. Codhead. A town obsessed with a pier, like it's the pinnacle of engineering technology. It's a fucking pier. They could build them 2,000 years ago. Didn't they have like cargo cults in Central America when the Spanish were coming up? They were that thick and ignorant, the tribesmen. I suppose thick's wrong. Ignorant. That they thought that the piers was what made the boats come. So they started building ramshackle piers, thinking, oh, nice one, loads of cool shit will arrive. Cargo cults, right? If a fucking cargo cult can build a ramshackle pier, I don't see why Saltburn finds them so impressive. But what do I know? Right, I'll stop slagging off Saltburn. The Northern, I'll let them off. I just don't like... Isn't it weird, Dave, Saltburn, there's a lot of like Guardian reading hipster lefties live in Saltburn. It makes no fucking sense to me. You'd think you were in like Manhattan or something when you walk around Saltburn. It's full of fucking dickheads. Anyway, I used to drink in the Cons Club down there. Always a good crack. Should we do some news? You don't want to listen to me talk about Saltburn all night, do you? Of course you don't. Probably nobody with any sense even knows where Saltburn is. There's a few things I want to talk about tonight. There's obviously the 3 stories that I put on my Twitter feed, to those of you that seen it. But there's a couple of additional ones that made me laugh. In fact, no, I'll tell you what, I won't cover one of them that I was going to do. I'll do that on the antagonistic biscuit because he needs some love, doesn't he? I haven't uploaded anything. Sorry, he hasn't uploaded anything recently. So I'll do that. I'll make a video basically about, you know, I keep taking the piss out of American commentators who happily wade in on things they know nothing about. I just find it fascinating. It's so strange to me because I feel as if Americans are happy to hold their hands up and say, we live in a country that basically spans a continent, right? It's 3,000 miles plus from coast to coast. We have, you know, like I've always said many times, I always stick up for Americans, my fellow Americans, when I'm abroad, and snooty Europeans set the piss out of them and say, Americans, they don't know anything. They don't have a passport. Americans haven't got a passport, mon ami. And I'm like, yeah, but think about it. If you've got the most powerful cultural force in the world and you've basically got almost a continent for a country, you can understand why people are insular because it's cheaper to travel. The whole reason Europeans are well-traveled is because you have to, right? If you're from, well, England. If you're from England, I'll tell you what, pick Scotland because it's even worse than England. The weather's even worse. It's Baltic. What you're going to do, you know, if you want to go to the beach, you want to go sunbathing, and you're from Las Vegas, you go to Spain. If you want to go skiing and snowboarding, go Austria or France. If you want to go see some Arctic tundra, you go up to Norway. You want to go see deserts, you go to Morocco. Like, basically, if you want to see things other than one-legged Scotsman chasing a haggis round a hill, you've got to go somewhere else, haven't you? So it's understandable why Americans are a lot more insular. You can't blame them for it. It's the same excuse that I give to people when they slag off the English and the Americans for not learning another language. You know, you have to be aware that you're disadvantaged when you speak English because thanks to the efforts of our forebears in the British Empire and the colonists, English is the language of business. I'm sure those of you that are a bit longer in the tooth like me fully remember the old famous, well, it wasn't even a hubbub really, was it? But Jacques Chirac got bollocked by the French because he stood up to give a speech and he said, this speech is going to be delivered in the language of business. It's English. And all the frogs said, is it the laws? He is slighting the French, no? It's like, no, he was stating a fact. English is the language of business. Americans speak English. Thus, most of Europe speaks English. Thus, the Japanese speak English. Thus, the Chinese speak English. It's the language of business. And when it is the language of business, you can't blame British and American people for being a little bit lazy. I'm not totally making excuses for them. Hands up, yeah, we should do better, lads. We should try a bit harder to learn the language. I certainly did when I was in Japan. I still remember quite a lot of it. You should try and learn the language, you know, and at least attempt to not be an ignorant twat. But we do rest on our laurels because of the cultural norms, because of the fact everybody speaks it. Yeah, there you go. Air traffic controls in English. Good point, chat. So yeah, we could do better. Again, ever the miserable, whiny, fence-sitting liberal cunt that I am, I'm always in the middle. And I understand the criticism, but there's also an explanation for why we get the criticism. So again, happy medium, right? We could do better, but there's a reason we don't do better. So when people are slagging off the Americans because they don't fucking travel and they don't know nothing about the rest of the world, most Americans will hold their hands up and go, yeah, but we've got everything here. That's why 40% of Americans don't have a passport. So we're not the most well-traveled people in the world. Not the end of the world. It's understandable why they're a little bit ignorant. But now I'm going to slag them off. I don't understand why they have a problem with asking a question. I only moved out here 8 years ago, and I've furiously tried to read up on American history so I can be a snooty British twat and impress Americans with my knowledge of the United States. And I am fucking good at doing that. If I'm in a pub and I'll start talking about the Federalist Papers and Madison and fucking going through all the US presidents and writers and thinkers, typically I know more than 8 out of 10 in there. So I've tried to do what you should do when you travel to a new country. So what I don't get is when I first come here, and Americans are saying to me things like, oh, yeah, you know, the War of 1812, we won that one, didn't we? And then I'm like, did you? I don't really know that much about it. Like, why don't you educate me about the War of 1812? Or talking about the gold rush in California, I was very ignorant about. Or the building of the railways. There's a lot of parts of American history that I didn't get too much of. Obviously, I got alone fucking loads about the Native Americans because I was raised in the UK in the 1990s. And we probably learned more about the fucking Sioux Indians than we did about British history, because that sort of creeping self-loathing had started to rear its ugly head in the UK when I was at school in the 90s. I fucking learned all about the Sioux Indians. I remember drawing a picture of a Native American with a fucking big headdress on and writing like a paper about it. Like, we were obsessed with talking about the fucking all the different Native American tribes. I could reel them off. And that's not just because we had a Geordie signaller in Afghanistan who everybody used to call Wind Talker. But because nobody could understand the fucking word he said on the radio. Like, that's our version of the Wind Talkers. We don't need the Navajo. We just need Geordies and Mackhams to work as radio operators. And the British intelligence, I tell you what, our radio would be impossible for any foreigners to decipher. Just get a bunch of Geordies with thick accents to work all of your signals network, and we'd be unhackable. Even the Americans and the Canadians and the Australians couldn't listen in. You'd be like, hello, Zero, there's enemy doing there on the south side of the tune, like, over. And the Americans were like, what the fuck did that guy just say? Jesus Christ, is this guy yanking my fucking chain? So it's not just because of Wind Talker. It's because of the educational system in the UK. We learned all about that shit. But I just don't understand why they won't. I don't understand why they won't ask the questions. You know what I mean? It's no crime to be ignorant. When I don't know a question about American history, or I'm genuinely, or someone brings something up like the Trail of Tears. There's something I didn't know anything about. Didn't know anything about the Trail of Tears. And then I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. Tell me about it. This is when I was in a bar in Chattanooga, right? And I seen a big sign about the Trail of Tears, and I was like, I don't really know much about that. Tell me about it. I don't understand why the Americans, or so many of them, certainly the ones in public figures, I'm sure normal American lads in pubs don't give a shite, but the ones in the public sphere like Whoopi Goldberg or Kamala fucking word salad Harris, I just don't know what they're thinking. Just ask the question. Honestly, Kamala Harris, if you didn't see the video I made last night, go and have a look at it. It was just gobbledygook. It was cringe to watch. It was the way she started, where she goes, oh yeah. What's that? Thanks for your content. 20,000 Stokes in and listening to your wisdom really helps. Stokes. I thought that was strokes. 20,000 strokes in, like he's pulling himself off while I'm talking about the Trail of Tears. 20,000 strokes. Go on. I'll tell you. I'm not gonna criticize anybody for having a challenging wank, but there's definitely better masturbatory content on the internet than the Angry Bootneck's BBC Spews Live. I'll tell you that, lads. Anybody, yeah, it is anybody who is stroking one out watching this, just type in something like 4K pornography on Google, and you're welcome, lads. You're welcome. You don't have to see a hairy northern man talking about the news. You can see all sorts of. You can see a super good-looking, long-legged beauty. You can see her fucking lungs, lads. It's 2022. They've got everything on there. Everything you can wish for. You can see a stoa. You can see a stunner. Blowing at your granddad. Whatever you like. Ah, right, okay, rowing. I've just got a dirty mind. Strokes. I thought you were pulling yourself off, Luke. I'm a little bit disappointed. I won't lie, I'm a bit disappointed. Right. So that's what I don't get about Kamala Harris. And I'm going to make a video all about Whoopi Goldberg. Sorry, the antagonistic biscuit is going to make a video about Whoopi Goldberg because she's a fucking lunatic. I'll do that tonight. He'll do that tonight. Susan, him. There's a link in the chat, by the way. There you go. There's the Antagonistic Biscuits YouTube channel. Give it some love because he will make videos when I get banned again for no reason. Like I've talked about, I'm not going to rant about that. But my last strike was for medical misinformation, and the videos on Getter, on Rumble, on Odyssey for the whole world to see. At no point is there any. Literally, the only thing I said in the video was, I don't think you should be able to force people to get jabs if they don't want to. And I've had the fucking things. There you go. Just absolute bollocks. So yeah, it's just bred real hostility towards Silicon Valley, the last few years, probably since Brexit. The treatment of YouTubers that don't kowtow and just 100% devote themselves to pushing woke politics, it's just genuinely made them really, really, really hate them. Like, is that the type of relationship you should have with your users? Like, I actually hate them. Like, I'm using the platform, and every day I pray that the company gets wiped off the face of the earth, like goes bankrupt. The buildings all get bulldozed, and they have to just build a Walmart on the cunt. Like, this is the treatment you get because they just outright lie. If they banned me for saying shit that I'd actually said, I could hold my hand up and say, yeah, fair enough. But they just lie. Like, the video's there for the whole world to watch in high definition, and they'll go on my fucking channel and say, oh, you were spreading lies, you cunt. Well, let the world watch it. Let the world watch it. It's like Stalin's in fucking charge. So, yeah, what a load of bollocks. Alex Bellend was shut down. So, again, I'm not really a big fan of Alex Bellend, but didn't deserve it, did he? He's entitled to his fucking opinion. If the Muslim... Oh, I nearly said the word. If the muslin is a good thing to wrap cheese in, if the followers of Alan's... the regular eaters at Alan's legendary snack bar, if they can have jihadi groups on fucking Silicon Valley platforms. I think I should be allowed to occasionally disagree with multi-millionaire fucking globalist scientist fucking maniacs who apparently caused this whole fucking mess. I think I should be allowed to talk, but maybe I'm just being biased. Right, there's my opening fucking monologue. I obviously squeezed in some homosexual references, as I want to do. For those of you that have accused me of being that way inclined. Right, let's talk about the news, shall we? This one made me piss myself laughing. Oh yeah, and I've just shilled my my friend, the Antagonistic Biscuits channel. Don't forget to check out my Twitch as well, because I can go on there when Susan pulls me off. No, not in a good way. Pulls me off the platform. I mean, right, let's do this story. Now, why were us Americans so insular? Well, I talked about that, didn't I? Saying you've got a continent, you've got nice beaches, you've got nice snow, you've got woods and rivers and plains and deserts, you've got everything. That's why Americans are insular. What I was saying is it's weird how they won't just hold their hands up and say, I don't know. When someone says, what do you think of the situation in Ukraine? Kamala Harris should just say, listen, I'm American. To be honest, I'm from California. I'm a middle-class arsehole. I don't pay too much attention to shitty little parts of Eastern Europe. Instead of going, guys, okay, guys. I mean, it was fucking cringe. Seriously, go back and watch it. Guys, I'm talking about, and do you remember, did you see the way she kept repeating, like, you know, when, again, like waffle when you're a kid at school and you're desperately hoping the teacher doesn't ask you for the answer. And she goes, right, Paul, what's the answer? And he goes, well, it's because the, it's like, it's just waffle. That's what she was doing. It was fucking cringe. Fucking cringe. I'm not playing it now. Go back and watch it if you want to see it. But honest to God, just waffle. And she went something like, this isn't just what we want. This is what we desire. I was like, yeah, that's a synonym for want, you silly fucking mare. This is what we need. This is what she looks around like on that terrible Disney video. It was just like that Disney video where she's talking to the kids who were paid actors. This is what we've led, we've done that, and this is what we desire and what we need. No, what we all need. Fuck me, Kamala, take your head for a shit, Kamala. Honestly, the woman is a fucking lackwit. This is what I've talked about, why it's so pervasive and dangerous, having identity politics, this fucking clumsily rebranded communism. Because if like you did with the Supreme Court nominee, it has to be a black woman. If you do that, you just instantly wipe out 95% of your candidates, because they're a small minority in the United States. And he did that with his VP. It was like, it has to be a woman of colour. So you've just fucked off everybody else. I mean, whether or not, seriously, see, this is controversial. I'm sure everybody's going to hate this. Whether or not you hate her, Hillary Clinton, for all of her fucking faults, is intelligent. You can't say that she isn't. Sadwings don't have a fucking stroke. I know. So I can imagine Sadwings, the dyed-in-the-wool Republican American in the chat. I've said Hillary Clinton's clever. He's like, rage boner. He'll have a rage boner to rival mine. But she's clever. And someone like Kamala Harris is just a fucking idiot. So why don't they just pick the clever ones? This is what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm getting at? If you were hiring someone, if you were the CEO of a company, and you're like, we're growing this year, we're going to push the envelope, we need to expand, it's going to be our year. I need to hire a chief operations officer to oversee the company. It's getting too big for me, but that person needs to be on the fucking ball. They need to be smart, reliable, intelligent, industrious, hardworking, the whole package. I'm willing to spare no expense to get the right person for the job. And then you just go, oh, but by the way, definitely has to be a black, disabled, Muslim, lesbian. Well, you've hamstrung yourself, and you know you have. It probably wouldn't be a problem if you were in, I don't know, Indonesia or somewhere, But if you're in a country where they are a small minority, striking a pen through all the men, all the straights, all the Christians and the agnostics, you start doing shit like that, you just instantly. Imagine if you were the HR director and you're getting this down. What do we want? Intelligent, yeah. Industrious, yeah. Sorted. I've got some candidates in mind. Oh, no. She has to have 3 tits, you cunt. What? Like the HR director's like, what? How am I going to deal with this? And that's what's happened now. And this is going to be, see, I disagree with all the clever people who keep talking about micro and macro economics and geopolitics and all of these changing demographics. I think the single biggest problem we've got is going to be this, because it's pervasive and it'll get everywhere. We're no longer going to hire the best in private and public circles. So in a few years' time, everyone running anything is going to be a fucking idiot. The female equivalent of a rage born, okay, is a wide-on, an angry wide-on. Glad to clear that up. I'm happy to address the difficult questions of the day when chat throws them up. And right, anyway, I'm not going to go down there. You're going to sidetrack me. Minge rage, yeah. Right, let's stop talking about Gash. Let's talk about this story. But no, don't get me. See, that was another 10-minute distraction from fucking Sad Wings raging. Don't fucking distract me when I'm just about to start on the news. Russia Today, regulator Ofcom asked to review Channel's UK broadcast. How good's this, right? So we're living in an era where the BBC purposefully, and with malign intent, covered up or outright lied about the industrial rape of 100,000 children, right? They had one of their biggest stars, Jimmy Savile, and he wasn't just a star, he was a children's television star, right? And he was fingering children. And the BBC covered it all up and then spent the last, when did they really go mad? Again, you know me, I'm a moderate person. The BBC used to be quite good. 20 years ago, it wasn't as bad as it is now. The BBC really went mad about 5 or 6 years ago when all this woke, intersectional, rebranded communist shit started. I spent the last 6 years pushing full-blown far-left propaganda constantly, lying about everything from climate change, gun control, anything that the intersectional far left has an opposing view to the conservatives on, the BBC have outright lied. Fictionalized true events, covered up, smeared, lied, cheated, stole, buying every copy of The Guardian so the fucking other ideologically possessed far left lunatics are still in business. The BBC has done all of this and more. And the cherry on top of that dog shit cake is covering up the industrial rape and torture and sometimes murder of children, right? And today, it's on the BBC, look, I wouldn't make it up. Today, the BBC runs this story. Russia Today, Ofcom is asked to review the Channel's UK broadcast because, look, the government has asked Media Watchdog Ofcom to review the Russia Today news channel broadcast in the UK. Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries told Ofcom the channel is demonstrably part of Russia's global disinformation campaign. Disinformation, really? Now, I'm not flag waving for Russia Today. I am sure that Russia Today, being what they are, sometimes do push disinformation. However, that the BBC, which has shielded paedophiles and rapists for decades, when you're talking about the grooming gangs, they're not being hauled across the coals by Ofcom. But Russia Today are, because they spread global disinformation. I mean, here, if this doesn't reek of hypocrisy and brainwashing and lying itself, this story, I don't know what to tell you. If you think this is fucking perfectly reasonable, that the country has paid for our own destruction for over a decade, we have funded the BBC as they've lied and smeared and cheated and stole and prosecuted pensioners for not paying for their dog shit TV licence whilst ignoring the industrial rape and murder and torture of children. And the BBC will now go on with a straight fucking face and say, oh, it's essential we stop this disinformation from RT. Let me just take my fucking eyes out and give them a polish. Because I can't fucking believe what I'm reading. The Kremlin-backed channel, which is available in millions in the UK, said the UK government was interfering in institutions that were supposedly free from political pressure. Yeah, no fucking shit. Look, Starmer calls Russia today Putin's personal propaganda tool. Oh, really? Red fucking Starmer. And what's the BBC, Kia? Let's listen out of morbid curiosity. I hope the sound works.
We must also do more to defeat Putin's campaign of lies and disinformation. Russia today is his personal propaganda tool. I can see no reason why it should be allowed to continue to broadcast in this country.
I can see no reason why it should be continued to broadcast in this country. And the necky bastard is sitting there with a straight face and saying, I see no reason why RT should be continued to be allowed to broadcast in this country. Well, you know what's going to come next? You know what else? I don't think GB News should be allowed to broadcast in this country. I think only news organisations like the BBC and the Guardian and the Independent and Channel 4 and Sky News, they should be allowed to broadcast because they're like Keir Starmer. They should be. In fact, I think every Friday, every working class person should be marched into their homes, frog marched in a fucking copper lock, so the fucking hands touching the back of their head, frog marched into the front room, chained to the fucking sofa and forced to watch the BBC for 6 hours. I think that is a fucking splendid idea by Captain Hindsight. Yeah, nice one. At least Angela fucking Rayner, fox piss, at least she had the good grace not to nod. Because she must be smart enough to think, fucking hell, every pot in the cosmos calling all the kettles black, you silly twat. Like, I mean, that is fucking mind-blowing. So Keir Starmer sees no problem at all with just banning a news outlet that he doesn't like. Just ban them. Oh, this news outlet reports news that I don't like. This news outlet reports things that don't toe the party line. This outlet doesn't spew endless effusive praise for the fucking wokester in chief. So therefore, fuck the outlet, burn it to the ground. You're off your tits, Keir. It's not going to work. Because the public, unlike the woke, which are fucking asleep, the public actually know what's going on. And they have a hearty level of cynicism about all news networks, RT included. RT included. We don't sit there and just nod our heads and listen to everything they say. The working class, the streetwise, the normal people of the backbone of Britain. And it's the same in America. The normal fucking blue-collar workers. They're happy to sit there and be deeply skeptical about all state institutions and media outlets. So you don't need to ban RT, you fucking arsehole, you slimy, self-serving shitbag, communist fucking wokester, authoritarian cunt that you are. You know what type of fucking hellscape we'd be living in if Starmer was in charge. The man's a tyrant, just like Justin Trudeau. He's got, I will crush your fucking right to disagree, written all over his face, just like Trudeau. So, fuck you, Keir Starmer. I reserve the right to listen to whatever news outlet I wish. And I'll have a hearty distrust for RT, just as I do for the BBC. So to sum up, you all know what's coming, because you're not fucking idiots. You know what the real response to RT is, if RT are indeed spreading misinformation? I know this is a mad idea. I thought of it because I'm a genius. This is this mad idea, right? What you do is, are you ready? This requires a lot of government work, right? What you do is, you let everybody say whatever they want. It's like a dark art. What you do is, yeah, you let the BBC spew their ridiculous far left propaganda, and then you let other outlets spew their right wing propaganda, and then you let Russian outlets spew their Russian propaganda, and you let British outlets spew the British propaganda, and Chinese outlets spew Chinese propaganda, and then the general public sits there and listens to all of it and decides which they think is the most accurate. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. You can have that for now. Yeah, the bootneck has stepped in where all of these leaders of men and world-renowned pioneers and scientists and inventors and the WHO and the globalists and the billionaires, none of them can solve this problem, but I've just done it for you. You can have that for now, lads. Let RT talk shit and let the BBC talk shit. Let Fox News talk shit and GB News talk shit. Let everybody talk as much shit as they want, and the general public can listen to it all and decide for the fucking selves. And funny old thing, that's what we've been doing in pubs and bars up and down the country for the last 2,000 years, and that system seems to work quite well. When you get some snake oil salesman who comes in and talks fucking bollocks, the old man drinking at the bar is allowed to say, "You're full of shit, son." And they did it with the Nazis, and they did it if you get some fucking lunatic, wingnut, tinfoil hat wearer comes in the pub and starts going, "I'm fucking telling you what's going on now, lads." People in there will go, "You're talking fucking shit, mate." And they'll have it out in front of people. And you can listen to both sides and you can go, "Oh, yeah, I probably agree with him slightly more than him." The system fucking works, lads. There's no need for this fucking worm, this slimy, self-serving shitbag who believes in nothing and stands for nothing and politically is like a leaf in the wind, this self-serving fucking shitbag. There's no need for him to tell us what news we're allowed to listen to. Because funny old thing, I'll tell you what, even if you weren't a self-serving shitbag like Keir Starmer, even if it was me, power corrupts. All the old adages we know are true, right? That's why I like them so much. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Even me, I wouldn't be immune to it. And unlike Keir Starmer and all these career politicians, I've got a fucking sliver of integrity. And I would think if I was in charge, I wouldn't do it. But I probably would. I'd probably start going, you know what? This network's constantly critical of me all the time. Maybe I would succumb to the whispers in my ears and say, you know what, let's get rid of them because they don't ever say anything good about me. Let's just have the networks that say nice things about me all the time. It's a human desire, and I understand it. But these fucking weaklings are proving me right. This is why we're so sorely led, because they don't have the intestinal fortitude or the integrity to do what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is you need to hold off and desperately fight against the urge to only live in an echo chamber and only listen to people that agree with you and praise you all the time. And these people, our leaders, should know this. This is why I keep slagging them off. Trudeau's the same. We've been sorely led because they haven't got the strength to stand against it, to give into the worst aspects of human nature, which is to never face the mirror, to only listen to things you like hearing. And that is why you don't get involved. You have to let everybody talk. The world is big enough for all of us. The Guardian can exist. The Telegraph can exist. Well, guess what? The fucking Daily Mail can exist. And Stormfront can exist. Yeah? If insane communist, fucking full-blown communist in the gulags, Stalin was a genius, mad cunts can exist on the left, then insane right-wing, full-blown Nazi cunts can exist on the right. And the general public can just sit there and listen to all of the bollocks and make their own mind up. Freedom of fucking speech does work. It does work. And the same applies to news networks. They're making it more complicated than it is because they want to ban people that disagree with them. It's not complicated at all. It's freedom of speech. The world's big enough for them all. The world's big enough for RT and BBC and Fox News to coexist. And we can make our own mind up, thanks. Captain fucking Hindsight. right? So there's that one done. You knew what I was going to say because I'm fucking consistent, unlike fucking BBC. Let's do another one, shall we? What's this one I saved? And arrested after. Oh yeah, this one I saved just because it made me laugh. As soon as I read the fucking headline, right, I knew for a fact that the person involved wasn't going to be under 30. I just knew again, maybe this is me doing it, you know, cognitive dissonance, selective bias of my own. But I just knew because I was like, there's no way some fucking soy boy, one of these scrawny, emaciated fucking tofu twats, would actually have the balls to assist the police in this way. And sure enough, I got to the bottom. Dude's like 44. I was like, I knew it'd be some fucking boomer. Boomer chins hostage should have been the headline. It says, a man has been arrested in Amsterdam following an hours-long standoff at an Apple store. Police say a 27-year-old gunman, don't tell us anything about him, which already tells you something about him, entered the store on Tuesday, taking a hostage and demanding 200 million in cryptocurrency. The suspect was deliberately hit by a police car after running out of the building to chase the hostage, who had managed to escape. Good effort. Finally, some kinetic policing. Jesus, if that was the Met, it'd say the suspect was chasing a hostage. However, the black disabled roller lesbian officer was busy having her dialysis and couldn't intervene, so the hostage was cruelly caught in an alley and shot in the head 14 times. That's what that'd say if it was the Met. The one-eyed paraplegic clubfoot LGBTQ plus I self-identifies as a fucking wolf Metropolitan Police detective was busy on dialysis, so the fucking hostage was caught and executed. That's what that'd say if it was in London. But fortunately, it was in Amsterdam, so the police ran the cunt over. It said he was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Well fucking done. Police say they've not yet established a motive. We'll see then. Probably sending fucking money to ISIS. Yeah, probably, or else they'd have told us. Yeah, if it was a white nationalist, they'd have fucking told you. Officers were first called to the Apple store in the Dutch capital Leidsplein area after 1740 local time on Tuesday. Dozens of people fled the shop while four hid in a cupboard. Four hid in a cupboard. Surely it's easier to just run rather than get in a cupboard with three people. And it's in the Netherlands where they're all fucking giants. Can you imagine that? Four giants in a cupboard. It must have been a nightmare. It says images circulated on Dutch media showing a man with a firearm. So the fucker had a gun as well. And it said Amsterdam police said Chief Frank Pau said the hostage, a Bulgarian, had played a heroic role by forcing a breakthrough in the standoff. He acted in a split second. Had he not done that, we could have been in for a long and nasty night. Where's his age gone? Well, in the earlier topic, it said he was 44 years old. So I guess they've updated it and now might have fucking bollocks it up. But the first thing I read was he was a 44-year-old man. So that was why I saved that. I just thought, yeah, winner. You knew it'd be an old boomer. It wouldn't be some fucking 23-year-old. Please praise the hostage who had skin-tight purple cords and a man bun. Yeah. Police say his pants were so tight you could count each individual pube through the crotch of his jeans. So, yeah, that was a good one. Fucking boomer, chins a hostage. And I saved one more. I'm trying to be a bit more professional, right, and actually work through. If I pick like 3 stories and make sure I do them, then we're actually doing the news, as opposed to just tuning in and watching me get led down the garden path by the chat and fucking talk shit for half an hour. So, yeah, here's my last one I'll do. This one is, obviously, I know you're bored, so I've left it till last because it's fucking going to go quick. Ukraine conflict. The reason I wanted to bring this up was, again, the glaring hypocrisy and weakness and stupidity and inconsistency of our leadership class, the elite, the fucking elite. Like I said, elite has lost all meaning, hasn't it? Lost all meaning. In the 90s, elite was like the SAS, the SBS, Andy McNabb, the elite. Now, elite means fucking useless cunt. Doesn't it? Tell me, elite. What's elite about them? The elites have fucked everything up. I listened to Lionel Shriver on Mark Stein's story yesterday. That we are seriously in the shit. It's made me worry about my stock portfolio. Like, I'm going to end up living off fucking spam, which doesn't bother me because I can live off spam and rain because I'm fucking nails. So maybe, at least if I lose all of my money and I'm existing off rain and salted porridge, at least I'll take solace from the fact that I'll be able to handle it better than most of the middle-class Guardian readers and the BBC journalists who will be fucking gutted. They'll be devastated. They won't be able to get on the Peloton. They won't be able to fucking go for the chai maca chai lattes at fucking over-expensive coffee places. They won't be able to eat French cheese and grapes off a fucking cashmere blanket in the middle of fucking London. So, yeah, I'll take solace from that. Even if we lose everything, I'll still be happy because I know I can live off fuck all, and they can't. So, yeah, I'll be smiling on top of the pyre. But the elites have fucked it all up. If you listen, she wrote a book basically, I believe it was called The Mandible, about the total collapse of the dollar. And it seems like that's going to fucking happen because nobody in the elite thought it was a good idea to pay our debts off for 30 years. So eventually the Chinese are going to pull the rug out from under us and we're all totally fucked. Think about it. Look how fast we went from $1 trillion deficit to a $30 trillion national debt in the United States. 30 trillion. If it was a problem when we got to 10 trillion and they went, 20, 30. Well, why not 40? Why not 50? Why not 100? They're addicted to debt. Same in Britain, same in the EU's even worse than the British. Again, at least under Cameron, they actually reduced the deficit. They didn't reduce the debt, but they reduced the deficit. Europe, the United States, all of the Western world, fucked. Because the elites are fucking useless cunts. Weak, spineless, never make a hard decision. This is what I keep talking about with regards to the weakness and stupidity and cringing, pathetic cowardice of our leaders. In the old days, statesmen made hard decisions. The Bengal famine's a really good example. Basically, in the old days, our leaders were forced to make difficult decisions. They'd say, if you do this, it's going to kill a shitload of people. If you do this, it's going to kill a shitload of people. Fucking choose. And they used to just choose. They'd go, right, make the hard decision. Now, they refuse to make a hard decision. They know what the plan was for the pandemic response. They knew what they were supposed to do. Stick to the plan. Stick to the drills. Do what you've trained for. Remember your training. Yeah, Maverick, remember your training. And they didn't because they're weak. They didn't have the spine. So they went, lock everybody in their houses for 2 years. Kick the can down the road. Winner. That's all they ever do. It's all Biden did. To be honest, all Trump did. They just kick the can down the road because they don't want to deal with a problem on their watch. So for the last 30 years, instead of making the hard decision and going, right, fuck yous, the border's getting fucking closed. We're deporting people who need to be get the fuck out of this country because there's criminals. Anyone who's broke the law, get the fuck out. Here's my number. Hello? 0121. Do one. Fucking do one. They won't make the hard decisions. They won't pay the debts off because they don't want to do it on their watch. So they just kick the can down the road. Shall we pay some debt off? No, fuck it. Leave it for the next cunt. Remember Liam Fox when he left his famous note for the incoming Cameron administration? Sorry, there's no money left, lol. Remember that one? In fact, I might Google that. There's no money left, no. Is it Liam Fox? See, this is how good's my memory. Who was it? I'm sure it was Liam Fox. No, Liam Byrne. There it is. All right, fucking wanker. I knew it was Liam. Everybody remember that? And they thought, the left thought it was hilarity at the time. Thought it was like side-splitting hilarity. Ha 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 ha, how funny is this bant? Liam fucking Byrne. Liam Byrne, Chief Secretary of the Treasury under Gordon Brown, left a note for his successor, proved to be a gift for the Conservatives. Dear Chief Secretary, I'm afraid there's no money left. Good luck, Liam Byrne. They thought that was fucking brilliant. Yeah, I will regret forever. Yeah, because they showed the true colours and they thought it was hilarious bants. This will show those stupid Conservatives. I'm afraid there's no money left, lol. Yeah, fucking cheers then. Well, that was nearly 10 years ago, so a lot of people might not remember, but I fucking remember. The general public remember, because normal people that aren't woke pay attention and they remember shit like this, and we've got long memories. So when we get totally gorilla fucked by the Chinese government and we all end up living off fucking spam for 8 years, just remember why we got here. It's because of the elite. The elite. Well, like I said, I was raised in the 90s and I remember what elite means. Andy McNabb, the SBS, elite. Roger Bannister, elite. The modern fucking elite. If you were going to use the military analogy, the modern elite are a morbidly obese National Guardsman. Yeah? No, it's not fucking Chris Kyle. It's not some badass Navy SEAL Delta Force motherfucker. It's a morbidly obese, midget, wheelchair-bound Oklahoma National Guard fucking private who has got the IQ of a pull-along duck. That's the modern version of elite, because our elite has just turned it up on its fucking head. They're completely fucking useless, and we are in serious shit. So this bollocks says Boris Johnson's defended his sanctions against Russia, saying the UK is out in the front globally. We are out in the front of nothing globally, you saggy, baggy albino jellyfish. We are out in front of nothing. We are fucking useless. We're in debt. We've got a woke military. We've got a woke fucking cabinet. We've got communists who've got the bit between the teeth. They own the broadcasting fucking studios. They own the radio waves. They own the TV stations, the printed media. We are out in front of nothing, you useless, saggy twat. The only thing out in front, Boris, is your fucking nipples, you big fat loser. You promised a further package of military support. Oh, really? A package of military support? They're going to do fuck all. They're going to do fuck all. And then Keir Starmer, basically, Labour's fucking pro-war at this point. Keir Starmer was like, oh, we're not doing enough, you cunts. Oh, really? So Tony Blair's gone, but Labour is still pro-war. Winner. Winner. Just remember, when I got sent to Iraq, when we invaded the fucking place, we turned up in Kuwait in like January or some shit. We were there fucking months before the war started. When I was living under a poncho in the middle of the fucking desert with no idea what was happening, when we were invading, what was going on, when I was going to go home, who we were up against, because it was like, oh, the fucking elite Republican Guard, there's thousands of the cunts. I had enough ammunition on my back to kill a Chinese battalion. And it ended up being fucking 6 blokes with their hands up. The whole fucking thing was a farce. Just be aware that when I invaded Iraq and was living under a poncho, not knowing whether I was coming or fucking going, Ewan Blair was being backdoored into Harvard. And Tony and fucking Cherie were crying at the airport. Poor old Ewan, he's getting a free education at Harvard. You fucking raddled slut. Cherie Blair, there's a woman I'd love to see get captured by the Taliban. Fucking hell. Anyway, I'll have to stop because we might end up in treason territory. And treason, they don't punish. If you commit treason in your left wing, they don't punish it. But if you commit treason in your right wing, they'll probably fucking hang me. They'll hang me from Nelson's column. And I'm sure my 5 operational deployments will be worth less than a wank. Because that's the world we live in, as you know. I mean, look at protesting. That's what Trudeau's proved in Canada. It was proved in London. It was proved in England. It was proved in America. You're only allowed to protest now. This is how far badly it's gone wrong. You're only allowed to protest if you're left wing. Think of that. That's not hyperbole. If you protest Extinction Rebellion, if you protest Black Lives Matter, if you're a Black Lives Matter protester, an Extinction Rebellion protester, if you're a suffragette, a modern suffragette, whatever, some ridiculous women's rights fucking crusade, if you're an LGBTQ plus activist and you want to dress as a furry and march past fucking Parliament with your cock out, shaking a big spiky pink dildo, you're allowed to do that. Try and do a protest if you're in the Football Lads Alliance. Try and protest against the increased taxes for climate change. Try and protest against, like Posey Parker and her friends do. Try it. See what happens to you. See how long it takes for the police to come round your house. Have a fucking go. Let Tony Romo try and have a protest. See how he gets on. You don't have freedom of speech, you don't have freedom of assembly, and you don't have freedom of protest. You're only allowed to protest if you're a fucking communist. woke, shit for brains idiot. You're not allowed to disagree. And YouTube's the same. You know, I get banned. Don't show my shit to anybody. Owen Jones, he's fucking laughing. He's doing sound. AOC, Chomper, eat a fucking apple through a tennis racket. She can say whatever she wants. Because she calls herself a woman of colour, even though she's fucking whiter than me. My ball sack's got more of a tan on it than AOC has. But she can just spew fucking dog shit into the fucking ether. Because apparently she tells everyone she's a woman of colour. What's fucking coloured about her? Have you ever, do people in Europe go, see that Spanish bloke? Oh, he's slightly more tan than that Scottish bloke, therefore he's a fucking Zulu warrior. No, that's not how it works. Italians are a lot darker than Norwegians. We don't go, fucking hell. Maasai, the Maasai tribesmen's marching through Rome. It's fucking bollocks. We're living in the post-truth era, and the left can do whatever they want. They can say what they want, you can't. They can protest where they like, you can't. We're not free people. And that's just a fucking fact. And it even extends to cyberspace. They can talk, we can't. Fuck them. Right, I think that'll do. You nearly got an hour out of me there, you twats. By the way, good news for everybody who wants to win some absolute shit. The last competition winner hasn't got back to me. He totally blanking me. So, that being said, what day did I do the last one? I don't even know. Was it Friday? If Gary Melville, who sent me £1 on the 18th of February, 2022, if Gary Melville doesn't get back to me by, let's say, I've got to give him some time. Let's say the weekend. A week on Friday, I will redo my raffle. And someone else can have a shit piece of art. So if you want some shit art, send me £1 via the PayPal Can Bank, and I'll put your name in the hat. Gary Melville, fucking PM me. Twitter, Facebook, Getter, Parler. The links are in the description. He wants his £1 back. Yeah, he's seen what he could win and he went, fuck it, give me the £1 back. Right. So yeah, cheers. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night. All right. See you later.